So, we're going to talk about how do you move on to the positive when you got all this crap happening in your life? Well, because you can't go, oh, everything's wonderful, as everything's falling apart. That's false positivity. And what ends up happening is you're going into a narrative that's going to is going to make things worse for you because you're in denial. You've got to do what DBT says is radical acceptance. And we're going to talk about that for a little bit. I am going to let you know I do have rose-colored sunglasses, and people have put them on and go, boy, you do have rose-colored sunglasses. Do you see the world this way? I really do believe that you have to process these emotions so you can get to the positive. And when they talk about DBT of radical acceptance, it means that you don't have control in that situation. You can't make that person change to what you want them to be. You've just got to accept. You can't change your work environment. You just got to accept. And acceptance is really, really challenging. Oh my gosh, it is so challenging. There are times you just go, oh, my heart is broken in acceptance. And I've got to accept that my heart got broken in this situation. And it hurts. And you may have to accept that people may never get healthy in your life. It may be your parents. Maybe your parents are really toxic and are showing toxic behaviors towards you as a grown adult, and you can't have a relationship with them. Or maybe it's a sibling and you can't have a relationship with them. Or maybe it's your child. That one's really hard. It's really hard when it is your child and you try to do everything you could to raise them to be a healthy adult. And that one's even harder sometimes because what people will look at you is like, what kind of parent were you? And you get a lot of judgment and bias and stigma. You know, people aren't really compassionate in that area when it comes to your children, which makes it harder to go through radical acceptance because sometimes you're alone in that. That's really challenging. Or your workplace, or even your relationship. Oh my gosh. You know, how many times do we have judgment? I'm just going to tell you, this is one of the reasons why I developed the needs languages. It was not just because I needed to read the patterns of what was going on with people so that I could connect, because I'm neurospicy. But in neurospicy people, a lot of times will read patterns, and that's how they figure out things out. That's why a lot of people go into coding. But for me, it was, I wanted to figure out the patterns. And so that's kind of how I did things. But when you understand the patterns, you know how to connect and communicate, but you also have radical acceptance because you know how they're processing the information. You know the vows and the narratives. You know how to navigate it. And you know that you have done everything you can. When you're able to radically accept that you did everything you could, you love them, and you're letting them go because the choices they're making aren't aligned with where you're going, or you're having to move on from a job, or you're having to move on from relationships, or whatever, you can bless them and say, wish you the best, and I hope that you're able to figure it out. There's no bitterness, there's no anger, there's just, I'm so sad and I'm so sorry, but I have to move on with the trajectory, I always have problems saying that word, trajectory of my life. And you radically accept it, and then you move into gratitude. And, you know, an anchor of gratitude is so helpful. You find something that you're grateful for that you can anchor into when all hell is breaking loose. And that is like my anchor of gratitude years ago, because I wanted something that had a little humor to it, was running water and flushing toilets, because that was just something I was grateful for. There's reasons behind that, but I'm going to tell you, when I went to travel to India, I became even more grateful for flushing toilets. And believe me, the holes in the ground, not my thing. So having that anchor of gratitude, no matter what it is, if it's that I have clothing, if it's that I have shelter, if it's that I have friends, and just going back to that gratitude It could be, I have whatever it is. And when you anchor into that, you're not denying what's going on. You're anchoring into the positive. And it'll help you move into that next season, that next movement into your life. That's what I mean. Please don't deny the crap. Please don't deny the pain. Allow yourself to ride that wave of pain, but don't stay there. Radically accept what has happened. Move forward. Love yourself. Love the people. Love however you believe a higher power is, and accept the love from higher power, and learn how to let go or forgive whatever it is, and then move into where your destiny is. Because I'm going to tell you something, you have an amazing destiny. You have something to offer this world, and people need it. We all need it. We all need you to be here, because you have something that you bring. You have something you bring to the table that I don't, and we need that. So on that note, I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.